Hello, everyone, and welcome to my very, very special I Love Learning podcast today. If you are not aware or have never met Ambreen, she's my special guest today, and I'm gonna just give her just a little bit of an introduction, but I'm gonna have her introduce herself because she is an amazing, amazing soul. So if you don't know Ambreen Nadeem, she is a top 100 thought leader. She's a best-selling author. She's a keynote speaker. She's a podcast host. I'm sure you've seen her podcast. And she's the founder of Psychology Talks. And she also does consulting and market research. Thank you so much, Ambreen, for being on my podcast today. I'm so pleased to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It is definitely an honor for me to be here and sharing my expertise, my experience with you and with your audience. So, thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. And if you don't know, Ambreen is in Saudi Arabia and it is 9:15 in the evening all the
Yeah.
way over there. So that's my bedtime. So I go to bed early.
Yeah.
So, Ambreen, tell everyone who you are and really explain to everyone what you're passionate about.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm a psychologist by qualification, and I am by profession, I'm a marketing research consultant. So, uh, because I'm an actual psychologist, my passion is to understand human mind and to share my knowledge about mental health. So that's my passion, and that's why I write articles. I do my podcast on psychology, and I love to share knowledge because I feel that this is one area when people get a little advice. I see in their life changes
Wow.
completely. So that's why I share knowledge about how they can do better in their lives and what are the areas they need to focus upon. So this is like in brief I do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ambreen wrote a book, and I'd like her to share a little bit about it.
Okay.
But I think really what I learned by reading her book is really about when you face a hurdle. And so I usually ask people about, is there been a hurdle in your life that stood in the way of your passion and how you overcame that? If you read her book, she will really walk you through that. Can you just share a little bit
Sure.
about that?
Sure, definitely. I'd love to talk about my book because it took me 20 years to write that book.
Yes, I
So
know.
yeah, I will just share that what were the basically hurdles that actually I faced and why I wrote this book and why it took actually 20 years. The first hurdle basically like I faced in my life when I was very young, and I usually shared that when I was in my teens, my dad lost a job. So he was having a very good job and he was like big multinational company, and then we were having good times. But then when he lost the job, then we started facing big financial problems, and then then I realized that everything comes with a price tag, and you need to earn everything. You need to do, and also seeing the way people change, their behavior change. The ones that who used to love to hang out with us, the way then they started making
Mm,
distance. So like everything changed, and that actually had a really bad effect on me, and I
mm,
started developing depression. And
mhm.
then at that point in time I said that I think that life is going to be like this, and it's not the good place to be. And then I think
Yeah.
and I had severe suicidal thoughts, and I thought, okay, then I had a passion, I had big dreams, and so and I thought that in this case, like with this kind of financial problems and with this kind of these bad circumstances, I won't be able to achieve my goal, and I won't be able to do what my achieve my passion. So I had like severe suicidal thoughts. But then the thing is, during those time, I realized that okay, there's a way out. I mean, this is not the end of the life.
Wow.
And then I realized that if we change our perception, if we change our thinking, this is the only way we can actually change everything around us. And then I actually realized that because at that point in time when I was having those severe uh, thoughts or depression, I was looking for basically some easy way to
Yeah.
to have death. I mean, basically to commit suicide. Because, and then I realized that why am I looking for the easy way? That means that I'm not running away from the pain of the circumstances. It's basically
Mhm.
I'm running away from the pain. Maybe that is the pain giving my thoughts are giving me the pain, because it's I can actually live with the circumstances, but if my mind stops making me miserable. So then I realized that okay, it's not the circumstances, it's my mind that is making me
Wow.
actually feel miserable. So that point in time is that I realized that it's only like, we need to change our thought patterns. And the thing is, and of course, one thing that I always hear that I'm actually a palmist also. So I used to read palm, and I see like I see, and that was one biggest thing when I used to see that if I used to predict actually future on the people. That is like,
Yeah.
things happen the same way. If it is in their palm, if it's in their lines, then they cannot avoid it, right?
Mhm.
So that was the, basically one major reason I had the depression, because I thought that if there is a destiny, like if that
Uh-huh.
we have been given a destiny to follow certain path and we cannot change it, that means that our
Oh.
life is doomed, right? So like, so
Oh.
like
Mhm.
we're miserable. And then I, like, in those, when I was having those kind of depression, I used to basically think a lot about it and everything. And then I realized that no, I think destiny can be changed, and
Wow.
it's not just that we need to follow the path that is given to us. I refuse to accept this destiny. Let's say if it's
Mhm.
given to me, I don't want to be in the same miserable situation. Maybe this destiny, I don't like this destiny, which is given to me by the God, or by the, let's say, the divine. So then when I realized this, I thought that okay, I need to tell people, because I know that
Yes.
a lot of people are going through the same phase and the same situation. They have the same questions in their mind. But at that point in time, of course, I was so young, and then
Yes.
I didn't have any resources. I didn't know how to write a book. I didn't know how to actually get my message across. So I set myself a target of 20 years at that point in time that I
Yeah.
will write in those 20 years, because uh, coming from a background from like South Asian countries, where the women are basically not considered to actually that more ambitious, or they think, like females are considered that they need to have their families, and that's it, they need to dedicate their lives to the family and nothing else. So
Mm.
what I thought was that okay, I will establish my family, I establish my career, and in the meantime, I'll establish my identity. And
Wow.
then I will just, I thought that in 20 years I could be able to do that.
Yes.
And like, just getting married, having kids, and having the proper, like, having identity, then I will be able to publish my book. So that's how, and in those, I mean, whenever, like at that point in time, I used to share with people that I want to write a book. Like, nobody used to believe me. They used to tell me that
Yeah.
you are crazy, first of all, like,
Oh.
you don't know how to do this. And like all kind of criticism that that you
Absolutely.
cannot, first of all, they used to tell me you cannot write a book, you don't have the
Wow.
English, and even they said that there's no career for that, and what would you be doing this, and they said that I need to focus more on the family. And so so this kind of thing. So initially I started sharing, but then I stopped sharing with the people, because I know that they don't understand my passion.
Yes.
And I did, I mean, listen to them, what they say, when they told me that I need to develop an expertise, and I need to work upon my English, and I need to how to, because they were not taking me serious. So I just learned from them that what are the things that they're looking for, this someone whom they'll listen to, right? So I did
Wow.
take their criticism in a way that helped me overcome the limitation. But I did not give up my dream on that, because they
Yes.
said that they cannot do it, that I cannot do it. So it was their limitation, that they believe that I cannot do it because of
Yes.
these reasons. So I said, okay, these are the reasons, these are the limitations that I have, but they think I cannot do it. I will do it because that's my passion. I wanted to do it. It was my
Mhm.
desire, it was my ambition to actually
Mhm.
share my message with the world. And I know that people need to know this. So it was a long journey, of course,
Yeah.
but then, and it was not easy. Even like in those 20 years, many times I thought that it's not possible because I couldn't find. Of course, I was doing. I created my identity. Like I'm basically from Pakistan, so
Uh-huh.
there I was. I started writing articles in Pakistan. I started giving lectures in university. I created kind of identity over there. But then my husband moved to Saudi Arabia. So all
Yeah.
my identity where I created, it all went
Wow.
to zero. And then moving to another country where nobody knows me. And I didn't
Uh-huh.
know how to do that. And so I went back to zero and I didn't know how to do this. But then again, and then of course, it was not just me. Then when I moved to Saudi Arabia, I had my kids, so like I could not leave them and just pursue my career or pursue my ambition. So all those things, but then
Yeah.
again, I thought that I will do it. So it all, I would say, the consistent small steps that will lead you to the to your goal. And every day I used to think, I used to pray, I used to visualize that I will write a book and I will
Wow.
publish. And of course, not just one book, I want to write more books, and this is how it
Yes.
was. So I mean, literally, every night I used to visualize that yes, I will, one day I will be an author. So
Yes. I think
yeah.
it's so powerful how here you were in the moment of thinking of ending your life, and how beautiful of a life that you have and you've created for so many people. And, if you're struggling out there and you can hear it in Ambreen's voice, I mean, she has changed so many people's lives, and really through her struggles, I mean, she's made an incredible a credible life for her family and herself. And just think of what it wouldn't have been if you listened to those thoughts that were there at that time. And look, it didn't take just a day. You're still working on this. It's been 20 plus years and you continue to do this. So share with us a little bit about, like, every day I see you posting. Yesterday you posted this powerful message of love. And every day, what do you do daily to keep your happiness and to keep your drive that you have towards this beautiful life that you've created?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I always tell to people that they should know their purpose, they should know their long-term goal, because that is when everything comes in alignment, right? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve in your life?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that is, so my purpose, I would just say that I love to share knowledge.
Yeah.
And the reason why I love to share knowledge, because I want to gain more knowledge. And it gives me so much satisfaction that when I try to do more uh, research on what I want to learn more about it, and that's what it actually keeps me motivated to post.
Yeah.
Because when I know that I need to post, that means I need to look for ideas, right? I need to
Yes.
look for the inspiration. So what I usually do is, like like posting on LinkedIn and like posting on social media. What I usually do is, this is kind of a very mundane task, right?
Yeah.
It's like it takes a lot of time, but what I
Uh-huh.
do is that I usually um, you listen either to the audiobooks or when I'm doing it.
Mm.
So it gives
Yeah.
me more inspiration about it. For example, like when I know that I created a post, and then I just
Uh-huh.
need to deploy the links on the different social media, and it takes
Uh-huh.
a lot of time. Or
Mhm.
maybe just making a poster taking a time or something. So like I'm listening to the like books and maybe the podcast of the other people, or maybe some other inspirational messages from the YouTube. So
Mhm.
I know, like I'm doing kind of a multitasking.
Yeah.
But yeah, but this kind of thing, that you should know that what kind of multitasking multitasking you can actually
Uh-huh.
do for what task. Because this type, when I'm writing a post, I don't do multitasking
Yeah, you
because
have to be
so
focused.
yes, so when with the task that requires more focus and attention, so
Mm.
I usually give 100% attention to that. But then once it's done, I know that it's just the, like, it doesn't require attention. It's just the like habitual routine task. So that's what I usually do it. And then I listen to that. Even like, for example, if I'm doing some, let's say, cooking or some
Oh,
household
oh,
work. So I do
yeah,
listen to these like audiobooks or something.
got
So
it.
that's how, that gives me more inspiration. And also I dedicate some time at least for the
Uh-huh.
solitude also. Like, for example, um, like I do meditation, and I do, like, not all the time I'm listening to these audio. For example, if I'm cooking sometimes, so I'm not listening to them, so I'm just talking to myself.
Uh-huh.
And that is time when you are connecting with yourself. Of
Yes.
course, but that is how that time is very much important, because whatever you listen from the audiobooks or whatever you read from the books, you need to connect with your wisdom. So
Yes.
that is the time when I actually think about it, and I come up with my ideas. And I tell you that most amazing ideas come
Oh.
after the meditation and during my cooking time.
Oh, got it. I bet.
That's
That's awesome. I
yeah,
love
I love
that.
cooking too,
Yes.
actually. So when I'm like, so when I'm enjoying my work, like, for
You're more
example, because I know
relaxed.
it, so I'm more, yeah, so it's kind of, and like, I'm thinking that, okay, what does that mean? And then it's like just pops up like some amazing
Yes.
ideas.
That's outstanding. So you do a lot of learning, obviously. You're in psychology. You and I did a
Yeah,
podcast on the human mind.
yeah,
What do
yeah.
you how do you articulate authentic learning? What does authentic learning look like to you, and how would you describe that in your life?
I mean, it's first of all, I believe that learning should be done with open mind.
Hmm.
That's very important. Like, most of the time, what I've seen is that past beliefs are
Hmm.
like conditioned, like we are conditioned to view things in a different in a same way, right? Like, for
Hmm.
example, if I'm from like the culture of, let's say, here in Saudi Arabia, or maybe like the Eastern culture, I do view things from the same, of course, but
Right.
then I should be able to challenge my views. It shouldn't be like that, like if someone doesn't come to me, or comes to me as a completely different perspective, I need to be open to understand the other's perspective. So whatever the
Hmm.
book I'm reading, wherever the people I meet. So,
Hmm.
this is one thing that I've learned, that we need to be learning with open minds completely. And we should never be able to fear to challenge our own deep rooted beliefs.
Wow.
Very
Hmm.
important. And most of the time, what I've seen is that many people are actually stuck with either their, most of the time it's the religious thing,
Uh-huh.
or they're like the like, childhood training,
Oh. Hmm.
so they are kind of stuck in that, and then they say that, okay, and then they refuse to accept any other information, any other knowledge. That's
Hmm.
one thing, the problem I feel arise, especially when you're learning authentically. So
Yes.
yeah,
That's a beautiful answer. I mean, because obviously the first step of learning is having your attention. And how can you have your attention if you're not even willing or open to learn in the first place? So I
yeah,
love that.
thank you.
A lot of people come to you. I see a lot of posts, and people ask you your advice. If someone came to you after reading your book or any time and they said, Ambreen, I've really lost my focus. I really don't have a passion for learning. I've lost my passion to live, quite frankly, maybe because they read your book. What advice would you provide to them if they, because that moment that you had where you switched your view of moving forward was quite powerful? What would you
Yeah.
recommend to them?
Yeah, this is actually, I mean, it didn't happen after someone has read the book, but usually I've because, as you know, like I have another platform where we did about the Save Lives project, and we do help people who are suicidal and something. So I have I have provided counseling to the people who are actually suicidal, and
Mm,
they were on the verge of giving up. So what happens is that when they feel, especially when they lose hope, right? Because
mm,
that's the main thing that happens, that anybody will actually give up trying when they feel that there's no future. Okay, there is no way to move on further, right?
mhm,
So I basically tell them that, first of all, I need to have the conversation that what is making them to
mm,
uh, make them lose that hope, right? And then you need to actually rekindle that hope. Of
mm,
course, it's not easy, but then you need to actually change, make them see the different perspective of the life, because most of the time it happens that they look at the life in just the same way. Like it happened to me also, like when
yeah.
I was suicidal and I
Mhm,
was just looking at life in a way that I thought that, okay, this it's not going to change, it's
mhm,
nothing's going to happen any good, nothing good's going to happen, right? But
mhm,
then I said, no, I think there will be some good going to happen, but of course we need to change. We need to change the way we think, we need to change the way we see things around us, and then
mhm,
we need to work around it. So, and the one thing that I have actually experienced, that especially with the when we're working with people who are suicidal or who are very depressed, so it's sometimes you need to just listen to them.
mhm.
Sometimes they don't even need advice, right?
Yes.
And they know it. I know sometimes people are much knowledgeable and they know already, so you don't have to actually say anything to them. You just tell them, okay, I understand your pain, that it is really deep. It's not easy to move. Just being there with them makes a lot of difference. It's just, I
Oh,
mean, sometimes you just need to check on with them continuously, that are you okay? Do you need help or something? They may not give you a big, I mean, response immediately or something, but that makes a difference in their lives. So
absolutely. Just being present, right? Just
yes,
being there for someone is so important, and really being there, not
yeah,
just saying you're okay without really meaning
yeah,
it, right? You have to actually mean it. Like, are you okay? And
yeah,
expect them to connect with you on that. I love that.
yeah.
Ambreen, what's your lasting thoughts for us today? What would you like to communicate as your final point or points on my podcast today?
Yeah, sure. So the last, I would say, the advice to the people I would like to give them is that they should always believe in themselves. I mean, that's one thing that can keep them going. And if, like, even in my book, I've written that it is not just uh, the thing that, okay, when you believe in yourself and then you keep on going, it's basically the alignment. When you believe in yourself, it's the alignment of the soul, mind, and body. Because when you know that you can do it, your soul is, your soul knows it too, your body is also knows it. So, like, you are aligning your mind, body, and soul in just one direction. And the, and when you do that, that's how you are able to create that kind of passion that you want to follow, right? You said,
Uh,
oh, because I can share my example, that when I know that I couldn't, like, a lot of people told me that you can't do it, and on several occasions, it was not just one about the book or something. uh, on several occasions, people say, like, you shouldn't go for this because you can't do it, or it doesn't have any further future scope or something. When I said, no, I think I know I can do it, and this is my passion. So I just believe in myself. Listen to your own self. This is very important, that uh, people will tell you, and it is their reality, not your reality. And if you listen to them, And if you agree to what they're saying, then it becomes your reality. So don't live in their reality, create your own reality. And that the only way you can do it when you believe in yourself and you listen to yourself.
I love that. This is so beautiful. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for
Yeah.
joining me today on my I Love You Have a Mind of a Champion and then some.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. If you want to reach out to Ambreen, I'm going to put her information. Ambreen, tell them what's the best way to reach you if they'd like to connect.
I'm very active on LinkedIn, so they can send a message to me on LinkedIn. And I have my website also, thepsychologytalks.com, so they can just see that my whereabouts. I'm also like almost all on all social media, like Insta, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, so they
We'll
can
find
actually
you.
reach out very
Yeah,
easily.
absolutely. Well, thank
Yeah,
you for joining me in South Carolina, all the way across the globe. You are an
thank you.
awesome soul, and thank you
Um,
so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor and a great delight to be here with you. Thank
Oh,
you.
absolutely.